Welcome to the second video from Divi Engine, Divi 5 explained for Divi 5-year-olds. Today we're looking at what are Divi 5 variables. We're going to be breaking it down in a simple explanation. In the previous video we spoke about what is Divi 5. I explained how it's similar to building blocks. You had some old building blocks and you now have new building blocks. It's the same toy, it's the same building blocks, just better materials, built more efficiently to last longer. Now we're looking at what are Divi 5 variables. So if I use the similar analogy, Divi 5 variables are like coloring pens, a magic coloring pen. Okay, so let's say you got this book that you want this coloring book, right? If you're a 5-year-old and you spent ages coloring in this book, you colored in, and then you get to the end and your favorite color's changed. You know, you've been using red a lot, but your favorite color now is blue. Well, how are you going to change that? Well, you can't. You have to redo it all. However, with a magic pen, it'll be as easy as pushing a button and all the red changes to blue. That is a variable. You set criteria, or you set things like a red color, and if you change it, it then changes it across the whole of the website, or in our case, the whole of the coloring book. So let's just jump in and take a look at this. You can find the variables in Variable Manager. Let me just close the layers. There's 6 different types: numbers, text, images, links, colors, and fonts that you can set. So numbers can be things like font size. What I would do is, the main points behind this is about using really informative words like descriptions. So rather than just using nonsense, and I know obviously if you're in a rush you can kind of just write something quickly, I would think about it and try and use it, try and name it correct, like in a easy to understand way. So for example, heading large could be 1, and then we can set that to be, I don't know, 32 pixels. That could be 1. Save the variables. Yeah. Colors. So here's your primary colors, but let's just set, red text. There's my color red. I like red. And then I want to do blue text. Pick color. Let's go to a nice blue. There we go. Okay. So I've set, my font size and my text, my color. Okay, so I've got this text here, getting started with the new Divi 5. So if we just go here, you can find your variables in the design tab, and it'll be depending on where you want it. So for example, heading text I got over here, we have this color which is white. You'll see this variable icon. If you look over here in the right hand panel, we've got the variable manager, we've got it's kind of like a server icon really, to be honest. Click on that and you can see I got this red text. Brilliant. That's great. So you can see now I've set my red text, or my blue text. Let's move me over. Or my blue text, but blue doesn't actually work well with that one. So let me make it red. Okay, so we have this red text. Now, just imagine now that I've built out my website, put out all my different pages, and the client or yourself has decided to rebrand, and the colors changed from red to orange. What are you going to do? Oh, in the old way, you'd have to go through every single step and change the colors. It would be laborious. Or you would have to go into the database and do it in a technical way. Now, it's dead simple. You just head over to your variable manager and you just change the color here. And as you can see, I want to change it to orange, and it changes it to orange, or whatever the color is. And wherever you've used that variable red text, it's now going to change that color throughout the whole of the website. Brilliant, isn't it? So that is Divi 5 variables broken down in simple terms. Think of it as a magic coloring pen. You color, and with one click you can change that color throughout the whole of the coloring book or website without having to go onto every single page and change it and color over. I hope that's made sense. If it hasn't, just ask some questions. We're here to help. If you have any areas that you are stuck with, that you're not sure about with Divi 5, something that confuses you, please leave a comment about it, and we will happily add it to our series and make sure we tackle it. In this whole series, we're looking at how we can break down, every single maybe complex idea into simple to understand ways. So I think the coloring pen is such a good way to think about it. Last thing before I sign off, I would recommend with a new build to really think about all the different kind of brand guidelines and all the different font sizes and colors and texts and fonts. Think about it and try and build these variables out at the start, and then at that point, working with presets, we'll get to next, you can then build out the site a lot faster, keep things consistent, which is the main point. You don't want to be having things all over the place. And it's great for your clients as well, your customers. If you're building sites, they can have these presets and these variables which they can just set, and they don't do anything crazy with them, because as we all know, our customers can sometimes go a little off track and their brand starts to look a bit crazy. So anyway, hope you have a great day. Leave a message, leave a comment if you like this, and if you have any questions, reach out. We'll be more than happy to help. Have a great week.